most trusted news source. This is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up on the news, with the weather warming up, electric scooters are back in the capital city.
Plus, a Lincoln boxer is representing Nebraska on the national stage. We'll have her story for you.
But first, a co-sponsor of Nebraska's proposed heartbeat bill is changing his mind on certain aspects of the bill. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Senator Merv Reapy says he's looking to change the discussion.
It centers around a bill that's making its way through the legislature that would ban most abortions. Channel 8's Matthew Mitlighter has more in our top story tonight. Matthew?
LB 626, or the Nebraska Heartbeat Bill, would ban an abortion if a heartbeat can be detected during an ultrasound, which happens around 6 weeks of gestation. Now, Senator Merv Reapy has introduced an amendment that would instead allow abortions up to 12 weeks. Senator Reapy said last year a number of senators signed a request to have a 12-week limit on a bill banning abortions. So this year, when the bill came back with the heartbeat limitation, he was concerned. He said oftentimes a woman may not know she's pregnant until after cardiac activity can be detected, so it would be hard to predict when she would need an abortion.
I spent nearly 40 years in the hospital administration business. I have a keen interest in health, but I also have a keen interest in, I don't want a young woman who finds herself pregnant and beyond the timeline that she tries to self-induce an abortion or does herself self-harm.
We've heard from Nebraskans who continue to contact their senators and continue to tell them that this is not what they want to see. And I think that really shows that the message is coming through to senators on all sides of the political spectrum.
Reapy said he wants this decision to open the bill up to more discussion among the legislators and hopefully find more middle ground between the two extremes. Right now, Nebraska law bans abortions after 20 weeks. The bill's author, Senator Joni Albright, said she was surprised to hear that Reapy had put this amendment forward, but is still hopeful her bill will have the votes necessary to move forward. We'll keep you updated on any developments with this bill.
Matthew, thank you very much for our top story tonight.
All right, let's check with your weather, because for some in our state, things could be changing here in the near future. Jessica Blum is in for Rusty tonight. Hi, Jessica.
Hey, yeah, I mean, if you didn't know any better, those winds around this time of the year, they're certainly meaning something. And for this time, it's changed. We got warm weather today. They're going to be shifting in a few hours, bringing a lot colder air behind it. So we'll get you there in just a second. But here's current conditions out there in Beatrice right now. The sun peeking out yet this afternoon and really helping us warm up this afternoon. But another thing, those strong winds. This is a look at right now, 25, 30, 35 miles per hour in southeast Nebraska. That's sustained, including those gusts anywhere close to 40, 45 miles. I've seen 50 miles per hour out there. So that's really gotten some spots, including Lincoln, up to 70 degrees today for a high. So still holding on to those upper 60s today. Looking across the state, similar picture, 75 in McCook, 73 in North Platte, multiple spots around town reaching the 70s, and we really don't usually feel this weather until about May is when those averages start kicking into 70s. So we're about 15, 20 degrees warmer in eastern Nebraska with these strong winds. But heading in tonight, that's not going to stick around forever. Winter weather headlines, we've got winter weather advisories across the state for less snow and again for blowing snow, and then winter storm warnings for a little bit heavier snow expected through northeastern Nebraska heading into tonight and going through the day on Thursday. So we'll time out all of that and more details coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, talk to you in a little bit, Jessica. Thank you. Several people are facing charges after a major drug bust in Grand Island while a 2-year-old was present.
Police say they found nearly 300 grams of marijuana, including 90 grams in the child's bedroom. They say they also found more than a dozen grams of cocaine. Christopher Holt was arrested for intentional child abuse and possession. 2 other people were also taken into custody at the home.
A Lincoln man is accused of pulling a gun on another driver during a dispute. 24-year-old Riley Scott was arrested for having a stolen firearm and making terroristic threats. Police say it all happened while a man was dropping off his girlfriend near 8th and P. They say Scott pulled up behind the driver, got upset, and then pointed a gun at him. A Marquette man accused of beating his wife to death is heading to district court.
47-year-old Jeffrey Adams waived his preliminary hearing, speeding up the court process. He's charged with second-degree murder in his wife's death last month. Adams is set to be arraigned April 20th in Hamilton County, where he's expected to enter a plea.
A Holdridge man facing federal child porn charges has taken a plea deal. 40-year-old Corey Sykes pled guilty to 1 count of child pornography, and in exchange, another charge of child porn will be dropped. He's accused of having the porn of minors who were less than 12 years old. He is expected to be sentenced on May 15th.
And a man will spend over a decade in prison for selling meth in Norfolk. Investigators caught 53-year-old Dallas Reinhart in the act after setting up controlled buys, collecting 52 grams of meth. He was sentenced to over 12 years in prison. The suspect in a Grand Island murder once called the town of Ord home, and his time in Valley County was spent with the sheriff.
That's right. Logan Huntshorse, we've been talking about him, and Casey Hurlburt were brought together by a common passion for horses, but they now find themselves on the other sides of the law.
The kid with the long hair and the sheriff brought together by a common passion for horses. The photo shared on Facebook by the Valley County Sheriff shows Logan Huntshorse, the man now accused with murder, next to Sheriff Casey Hurlburt in December 2021.
This is Sheriff Hurlburt.
We called the sheriff after seeing his name listed as Horse Hunt's employer in a court case from March 2021. According to records, Huntshorse was arrested after a crash. Grand Island police say he was driving without a license. The sheriff says he had known Logan for about a year through horse racing when he got a call one morning. In the sheriff's words, quote, "He contacted me at 2 a.m. in March of 2021 needing assistance. I drove down to Grand Island that night and picked him up and brought him back to Ord," end quote. Hurlburt says that began a 15-month period where Huntshorse stayed with him, helping him feed and train horses. He says the teen went to football games and was well liked in Ord, where he was turning his life around. Court records show Huntshorse was picked up for being a minor in possession in Grand Island during that time. Hurlburt says most of the teen's problems began after that. Hurlburt says things changed in June of 2022 when Huntshorse took a job in Colorado. In a statement, Hurlburt says, "All the reports we received were positive until June 30th, 2022. At that point, Logan quit his job and we lost all contact with him." In the fall of 2022, Huntshorse was charged with driving under the influence after a car crash in Sheridan County. Huntshorse lost his license after pleading no contest to reduce charges. And as recently as February, Huntshorse was cited for being a minor in possession in Hall County. Now the 20-year-old faces charges for murder and robbery in the death of Todd Scher, whom police say was shot and then struck with a baseball bat in the barns at Fauner Park. Sheriff Hurlburt expresses his condolences.
And the sheriff said there are rumors online that he may have given Huntshorse the gun used in this case, but he said that is false. A rollover crash is under investigation near a busy Lincoln intersection.
It happened at 48th Street and Normal Boulevard around 8 o'clock this morning. Several units were sent to the scene. Officials tell us that SUV you just saw there and a pickup collided with the pickup rolling onto its roof. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt.
Police are also investigating a second crash this morning. Take a look at this. 2 cars flew off the road in a Lincoln neighborhood. The crash happened near 10th and A around 8:15 this morning. Tow trucks were already on the scene when our crews arrived. The area has since been cleared.
The Nebraska State Patrol is sharing its results of the special enforcement over the past couple of weeks. Troopers removed 23 impaired drivers from the road during this year's state basketball tournaments. They also stopped 36 drivers for speeding at 100 miles per hour or more. Electric scooters are on the road again in Lincoln after winter break.
They are now part of a permanent program, and city officials want everyone to be smart when using them. Channel 8's Veronica Barreto joins us now with more. Veronica?
The company Lime started deploying 250 scooters today around Lincoln after they paused during winter. The city's permanent scooter program launched last fall after a 16-month pilot program. As the program makes its comeback for the spring, city officials also want people to follow the regulations. They say you have to be 18 years or older to ride on an e-scooter. No double riding is allowed. Also, it is considered a motorized vehicle, so just follow all traffic rules and regulations. And remember, if drunk, riding a scooter instead of a car is not an option.
If you're on a bike, if you're on a scooter or in a car, be smart, don't drink and drive. These are considered a motorized vehicle, so you could, in theory, be charged with a DUI if you were to drink and drive.
The Scooters program is part of the city's plan to have a more efficient and eco-friendly transportation system in Lincoln. And coming up at 6 o'clock, I will have much more on how the program benefits Lincolnites and other considerations people should keep in mind when riding them.
All right, some good reminders. Thank you so much, Veronica. The chief of police here in Lincoln and Cedars held a friendly chili cook-off today.
It was a way for the police department to engage with youth that were staying at Cedars. The chili cook-off idea was brought up a year ago, and today was the day to see if Chief Ewens could beat the Cedars team. The two teams competed for the coveted Chili with the Chief trophy. While this was a fun event for everyone, events like this are also important for LPD.
It is incredibly important that we have facilities like Cedars. They give us a lot. They support our officers and the kids in the community. And we're able to really bridge a gap and have conversations. They see me in a different light. They see our officers in a different light. And so it's about the future, and it's about our kids.
There were 3 judges determining the winner: Mayor Larry and Gaylord Baird, Chef Rachel from Dish, and Katie Dunn from Butterfly Bakery. By 1 point, they decided Cedars was the winner. The plan for next year is to do a pasta cook-off. A 21-year-old Lincoln boxer is on her way to the National Golden Glove competition this May.
She says in just 2 short years, she's gone from novice to expert, but she didn't grow up dreaming to be a boxer. From beginner classes to teaching boxing, she's now representing the Midwest in the National Golden Glove competition. Myers is a full-time mother with a full-time job, all of which she says motivates her to win. But the representation of the modern female boxer, she says, is one she's striving to live up to.
And I didn't realize that females could box, especially in Nebraska. Not trying to say anything bad to Nebraska, but I always thought bigger states, bigger cities with more people would have more of those female fighter population.
The sky's the limit for her. This young lady puts in more work than anybody that I know. It doesn't matter male, female, it's about determination and what you want to do in life.
What a great story. Myers trains several times a week and restricts her diet. The Golden Gloves National Tournament is May 8th through the 13th in Pennsylvania. The event has previously showcased legends of the sport like Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather Jr., and many more. Coming up, hurricane-strength winds, massive mudslides, and several feet of snow. Mother Nature continues to wreak havoc across the country.
We'll have that story and your full forecast after the break.
The Northeast is digging out after a winter storm dropped 3 feet of snow in some places. And then in California, heavy rains are prompting worries of flooding.
And hurricane-force winds paired with already saturated soil are bringing down trees.
There it goes. Oh my God. Oh.
Wow. Nearly 200,000 in California are without power, and a massive mudslide sent a tree into a home as well. Good news, everyone inside that home and the surrounding neighbors were able to escape unharmed. Heavy snow and strong winds are also making things more complicated. On the other side of the country, this barn right here in Massachusetts caved in, killing some of the livestock inside.
Tough thing. I mean, we've been here 110 years. This has never happened. We'll have milk for sale tomorrow here at Shaw Farm and ice cream and all of that because we cannot afford to be shut down.
A 6-year-old girl and her mother were trapped after a tree fell on top of them while they were playing in the snow. The mom was able to get out, but rescue crews had to be called in to dig into the snowbank to rescue the child. Good news though, the girl is already home recovering from the hospital.
Now, your Storm Alert team forecast with meteorologist Jessica Blum.
Well, if you're anything like me, you've been here for a while, you know how things work in Nebraska. You can have 70 degrees one day, winter the next. Especially March, April, those transitional months, we could see a little bit of everything. And today, tomorrow, no exception, right together. Likely to see 70 degrees like we did today, and then winter returning tomorrow. So let's kind of look at how today's shaped out first. So looking outside, winter isn't in the picture just yet. It's very windy outside, southeast, camera at 84th and O Street, blowing around the winds, and this is a picture across Nebraska, especially eastern Nebraska. Strong winds, 20, 30, 35 miles per hour sustained out of the southeast, and you can start to see the transition through the state, especially towards the west and in the panhandle, starting to see winds start to shift out of the north. So again, we've got these strong winds sustained, but here's factoring in the gusts, 30, 35, they've calmed down a little bit. I've seen up to 50 miles per hour yet this afternoon out of the south, bringing in a lot warmer air, and that's kind of what we're needed at this time of the year to see such warm weather at this time of the year, but out towards the west. This is a look at 11 o'clock. We're starting to see those winds start to pick up out of the north, and it's going to shift across the state going into the early morning hours of Thursday. And across the state, we could see 45 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts. And this is just in terms of the wind. This is not the whole story going into the day tomorrow. And then pushing past that, we could see 45, 50 mile per hour wind gusts through the night and into the early morning hours of Friday. So the wind sticks around for a while, but the action does not. So we'll take you through that. Here's a look at live satellite and radar right now. A lot of clouds throughout northern Nebraska. Some rain showers starting to pop up on radar throughout the panhandle, but this is the picture as we fast forward through tonight. 11 o'clock, rain showers overspreading in the panhandle, and then it starts to track its way east with the cloud cover with it. And then again, that starts to transition, and we'll see some of that as we go through. Again, starting to see some of that transition. We'll see, again, clicker is not working right now. We'll see if it can get going. Oh man. Well, you know, you're only as good as your graphics sometimes, but the rain is going to start out towards the west. It builds in towards the east eventually, and then eventually we get going. We start to see snow eventually going towards the east too, and then we'll start to see some of that transition as well. So we'll start to see if we can get some of this going here. And eventually it starts going. There we go. There we go. See, snow in central Nebraska, take my word for it, starts to transition a little bit towards Lincoln. We're starting to see the rain start around 5, 6 in the morning. It starts to transition towards southeast Nebraska, overturn, start to mix through 10 a.m. We start to see that snow band come in as the cold air, those strong north winds, you remember, they're dragging in that cold air towards us, and then we start to fully transition after lunchtime. So again, not going to see a whole lot of snow here in southeast Nebraska. That we might see a heavier band start to settle in southeast Nebraska too. So we're modeling some of that, and we're going to keep monitoring that as we look forward, because right now we've expanded the area to see most of southeast Nebraska a trace to an inch, maybe a trace to 2 inches just to the north of that. But really throughout northeastern Nebraska could see an area of 4 to 8 inches develop, because most of this stays as snow as the cold air catches up to some of those stronger winds. But Again, that's some of the story tomorrow, those temperatures. We see some of our warmest temperatures around midnight, and then temperatures continue to fall throughout the day tomorrow. Daytime highs right around freezing for a time, and that's when we see that transition to snow throughout the day tomorrow. So again, that 49 degrees, that's continuing to fall throughout the day, and then that cold air sticks with us for some time Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then with the start of spring on Monday, we start to warm back up into the 40s and then 50s on Tuesday before another rain chance Wednesday into Thursday. So again, we've got snow coming, but enjoy the day while it lasts today. I know it's windy out there, but 70 degrees is something to accept and take advantage of it this time of
Celebrate
year.
a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Tomorrow's going to feel like a slap in the face.
It is.
Okay, we'll soak in today. Thank you, Jessica. A split day on Wall Street. The Dow falling 281 points. NASDAQ only gaining 6. S&P also losing 27 points. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source.
A final check of the forecast with meteorologist Jessica Blum, and again, changes coming for some here in Nebraska.
Yeah, we want to bring you the latest on some of those winter weather alerts that we've already seen issued yet this afternoon. Winter weather advisories on the fringe of this system expected, as you can see in those purple shades. The timing of those go into effect late tonight, so about 1 a.m. through about tomorrow evening. And the winter weather advisories, again, the lower tier, we're supposed to see less snow in some of those areas, but those gusts still upwards of 50 miles per hour. We've got winter storm warnings in those counties shaded in pink. Again, same time period, about 1 a.m. through Thursday evening. More snow expected in some of these spots and gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour again. So it's not just some of the snow that we could be seeing, it's blowing snow, lowering those visibilities. So traveling, if you have to go north or you live in these areas up north, be sure to be careful as you're having to go home tomorrow, as well as some of the commute to work tomorrow as well could be some of a hazard. So again, looking at some of those totals, I think we see more of it towards the north and east. We see less along the fringes here in Lincoln. I think we see about a trace to an inch, maybe a stronger band settling in southeast Nebraska will monitor that for just upping those totals just a little bit. But going throughout the next couple days, we do see that transition from rain to snow tomorrow. Temperatures dropping throughout the day. Partly sunny skies on Friday, maybe a stray flurry or two, with temperatures only rebounding to about 38 degrees for St. Patrick's Day. And then Saturday, we're just going to have a colder weekend. This system dragging a lot of colder air behind it, leaving us with some cold air to deal with for the next couple days throughout this weekend. So it's not going to be one of those warmer, nice weekends to get outside. Hopefully you got some of those last minute things in today, even though it has been windy. It's been beautiful though with 70 degrees. We don't see that very often this time of year. So this is kind of a look over the next 3 days. We'll continue to keep monitoring this and bringing you the latest coming up tonight at 6 and at 10.
All right, thank you, Jessica, and thank you all for joining us.
World News is next, and then we'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.
With the Channel 8 News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
Need a better night's sleep? Come see us. At Comfort Made Mattress Factory, our custom-made mattresses are built to your needs, backed with a lifetime comfort guarantee.
Closed captioning on Channel 8 Eyewitness News is brought to you by Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Stop searching for value in all the wrong places. iMart Express has the best insurance offer around. Get a free second pair of glasses when you use insurance with us. It's like finding free money. Get the most from your vision benefits at iMart Express.
Get $1,000 purchase allowance on a 2023 Cadillac XT4. Visit your local Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer.
The Book of Mormon is the best musical of this century. The 9-time Tony Award winner is genius, brilliant, phenomenal. The Book of Mormon is the funniest musical of all time. It's the gold standard for comedy that goes further than any other comedy in history. You won't believe how funny it is. You won't believe how much heart it has. And when it's over, you won't believe how much you'll want to see it again. The Book of Mormon, March 24th through 26th, Lead Center for Performing Arts. Tickets at leadcenter.org.
If you're ever injured in an accident, remember this name. If a loved one is injured or killed in an accident, remember this name. If you're ever injured because of someone else's carelessness, remember this name. Call Powers Law. No fee unless we recover for you at 402-474-8000. Powers Law. Remember this name.
Locally owned since 1963, Leach Camper Sales of Lincoln offers a huge variety of RVs. Unlike competitors' same old models, your choice is always uniquely yours. All types, all styles, all price ranges. Get out and live life. Leach Camper Sales of Lincoln. Camp better.
5 stars are better than 3, and 2 thumbs up are better than 1. That's why, as your mayor, I've worked to make Lincoln an even better place to call home. Adding more police officers every single year, investing over $200 million in streets, and making Lincoln one of the best cities for economic recovery by supporting small businesses and new job training programs. Still, there's more to do. I'm Lyrian Gaylor Baird. Join me to make Lincoln an even better place to call home.
At iMart Express, get an eye exam, pick your frames, and get your glasses in hand with free same-day speed. All in one place, all in one day. Shop now and get 2 pairs single vision starting under $40. iMart Express, your all-in-one optical solution.
It's the Husker Lawn and Leisure Show this weekend at the Lancaster Event Center.
Tonight, several developing stories as we come on the air. The U.S. and Russia in a race to find that downed American drone. And here in the U.S., another close call on the runway. The air traffic controllers urging a United flight to cancel takeoff clearance. First tonight, Russia and the U.S. scrambling to find that multi-million-dollar American Reaper drone intercepted by 2 Russian fighter jets. The U.S. says one of those Russian jets colliding with the drone. Tonight, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and his message to his Russian counterpart. Arthur Raddatz standing by with late reporting. Here in the U.S., that new close call